You're watching Anglia Tonight. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Now, we're just past the halfway stage of our big summer project, the Anglia Allotment, which has been looking at a wide variety of subjects associated with a huge increase in grow your own.
Yeah, so far we've looked at the benefits of recycling, the threat to bees and the large number of schools from the east that are now involved. So what next? Well, Jonathan is at the Anglia Allotment and he can tell us right now. Hello, Jonathan.
Good evening, Becky. I certainly can, from an Anglia Allotment which is absolutely bursting with produce. Who'd have thought back in April we'd have had sweet corn this size or flowers this beautiful? We've got a massive amount coming your way in the Anglia Allotment, including all of your favourites. Now, Alan Titchmarsh has been giving us some amazing tips throughout the entire series. He'll be along with another one of his favourites. You've been sending in some wonderful emails so far as well. We're going to catch up with potentially the smallest allotment actually in the east. And there's only one competition in town, isn't there? That is the big sunflower competition between Becky, Amanda and myself. We'll reveal who is leading that particular one in just a few minutes from now. But this evening specifically, we're going to be taking a look at the benefits that gardening gives those with a disability and also the disadvantaged as well. Take a look at this lady, Abby Lane over here. Hi, Abby. We saw Abby in our first programme when her allotment back in April, I say a little bit barren, but not now. Take a look at this. Absolutely wonderful stuff. The raspberries looking wonderful, Abby. Now, those people that don't know, who haven't seen the programme so far, may not realise as well, wonderful gardener, wonderful allotment holder. Also, you suffer from MS.
That's right, yes.
That hasn't stopped you, has it?
No, keeping busy over here and come over as often as I can to pick the fruit and veg and make chutneys and jams, etc. from them. So, yes, keep it really busy.
And what does it give you as a person, do you feel?
It gets me out in the morning. If I'm not feeling particularly brilliant, I know that I need to come over here and pick everything while it's fresh and then obviously go home and then make things from it. So, yeah, it's very good.
And how have you actually adapted the allotment?
Well, we've got a parking space over here for my mobility scooter that my husband did for me, so that's off the track.
Yeah.
And we've got more space in between the different things so I can put my stall down to pick the fruit and veg and what have you, and then raised beds as well do help, so yes.
For anyone with a disability watching this evening who hasn't actually tried anything, what would you say?
I'd say get out there and try your best and do what you can. Keep you fit, yeah.
Abby,
definitely.
thanks for now. We've got Victoria Webb with us as well. Victoria, you've been here for the first time. I know you're inspired by what you've seen.
It's fantastic. Everyone's working so hard. You can see they're getting so much from it as well. I've actually been taking a look at two projects in the east, one in Ipswich, another further afield in Bedfordshire, where you can see gardening really is changing lives. Up until recently, if you'd asked these students at the Thomas Wolsey School in Ipswich about gardening, they may have said it wasn't for them. But these days, their green fingers can often be found working hard in the allotment or the sensory garden.
2, 3, 12! We did it!
Gardening is something I didn't think I could personally do, but now that I've started the project, I know that everyone with all abilities can do it.
After months of watching them grow, it's now time to count the potatoes.
4, hold on. That one. Yeah, 5. Hold on. 6.
They'll be cooked in the kitchen, and the students love seeing the end result.
We're growing carrots and beetroot and all that kind of stuff, and over there behind you, you can see we're planting potatoes and onions.
The pupils here have a range of disabilities. They share the site with Thurston Upper School. Projects like the allotment bring the students together.
Some of the pupils, particularly those who've got sort of autistic tendencies, they don't necessarily interact very well with even with each other, but through gardening and getting stuck into actually doing something practical, then that can really help them.
For someone who's not used to having structure in their life, throwing themselves into a gardening project can be really rewarding. At the Emmaus Village Carlton in Bedfordshire, which provides support for formerly homeless people, it's having a positive effect.
I've never really been a green-fingered person beforehand now, but it's given me a bit of pride in making something, well, to help make something look a lot better for people to view. It does give me a bit of a sense of achievement.
Here, as well as growing vegetables for their meals, they're also selling them in their garden market, raising funds for themselves and others.
It's just the satisfaction of actually using your own goods, really. We all like to actually make homemade food as well anyway, so yeah, all the ingredients are important, really.
Just seeing the smiles on these faces says it all. Two projects for two different groups of people, but all enjoying the benefits that allotments and gardens can bring.
Yeah.
Victoria, two wonderful projects there. What was the thing you took out of it most of all?
It was just fantastic seeing everyone getting really stuck into it. The little tots are,
Yeah,
you know,
I know,
like
they
3
were
or
wonderful.
4, fantastic, and just, yeah, all getting stuck into it. And I know that they're really looking forward to seeing how everything's grown when they get back from their summer holidays.
We're looking forward to seeing that as well. Now, Abby, we can't let you go because the other thing, not content with your allotment, of course, is that that's not enough for you to do. You brought on bees as well for the first time into the allotment. How have they been getting on? Any honey yet, more importantly?
No, they're doing really well, but it
Yeah.
should be like 3 to 4 weeks, I should imagine, before we get the honey.
Really busy. We were filming them earlier on today. Really busy, were they?
Really busy. And this is what the swarm hive have actually made, which we collected last time when you were filming the bees.
Of course. And how long did that take to make?
That was overnight that they managed to do that.
It is
in the
incredible,
hive.
isn't it?
In the wrong place, though, but that's what they did.
Well, Abby and the boys, thank you very much indeed. I'll let you get back to the allotment for now.
Thanks very much.
Now, all around the allotment at the moment, Vicky, it is incredibly dry. It looks flush, but it isn't. It's actually incredibly dry. And if you're a gardener at home struggling at the moment, trying to get some water on your land, don't worry. If you need a bit of a lift, I've got just the man for you. It's time for our latest Titchmarsh tip.
Digging around. Dig.
July on the Anglia Allotment is a great month. You're starting to pick things now and get the fruits of your labours from much earlier in the year. And it's still not too late to make successional sowings of things like lettuces and even radishes and stuff, which will grow quite quickly now that the weather's warmer. Just remember, though, this is the month that you're probably likely to get spells of drought. Yes, I know it often chucks it down in July, but if it doesn't, you're in charge of watering. Keep those crops growing.
Dig in the ground. Feeling good in the ground.
Well, Alan Titchmarsh was... I'm sorry, a bit puffed. We're running all the way down there. But Alan Titchmarsh would certainly... You're right.
Yeah,
would certainly approve of all the emails you've been sending in about your lovely allotments. We told you earlier about this extraordinary allotment that was potentially going to be the smallest in the East.
That's right, yeah. The proud owner is Bert Churchill, who's managed to cram parsnips, tomatoes, fruit trees, potatoes and loads more into his patch in Peterborough. Small, but perfectly formed. A bit like Bert himself, who has been married to Joan for 64 years and says anyone can grow food, why not give it a try?
What a brilliant bit of advice that is. Now, here is one from Dick Kilburn from Essex. Sent us a bunch of flowers, Victoria, but not any old flowers. Actually, rhubarb. I thought it was about sending Becky. What do you think like this?
I think she would. I think that's a very good idea. And on to some of our younger viewers. Here's the wonderful new allotment to St John's Primary School in Ely. And some of the children, including one chap who's clearly trying to do an impression of a runner bee.
He is indeed. Now, let's take a look at this one. Precision gardening and, by the looks of it, the great ability to build a wigwam. It's all part of the allotment experience at the Knowles Junior School in Bletchley as well. Enjoy the holiday, guys. Enjoy the holiday, especially anyone who's going at the moment. If you've got any more emails, send them in to Jonathan and Becky at itv.com. We'd love to see them. Now, it's not all about gardening, as we hope we've managed to show you at the allotment over the year. It's about the socialness as well. Meet Jean, who we've met before, and meet Mr. Jean, Ken. Let us into a secret. You actually don't like gardening, do you?
No, it's not really my scene, but it gives me an excuse to play with the vintage machines on the allotment.
You talk about vintage machines. This is a real collector's item.
They're not that uncommon, but it's 1925.
Right.
It was the first mass-produced motor mower that was generally available, and still not cheap in its day. I suppose equivalent over £1,000. I suppose in today's money.
Does it start still or not?
It does, but it often needs a little bit of persuasion with the odd expletive. But I won't demonstrate. We're going out before the watershed.
We are indeed. Well done, Ken. Well done. Thank you very much, Jean. Thanks. Well, another sort of snappy model that we've got is just over here, actually. These are good models, of course, but look at this one over here. She's just back from a holiday. I'm sorry, I had to get from one side to the other. Amanda, great to have you back from your holiday as well.
Thank you.
And great to have you back at the allotment. What have you found today?
I can't actually believe how dry it still is. Now, usually by since March, up to this point, we should have had 8 inches of rainfall, whereas only had 4 inches so far. But the good news is there is some rain on the way over the next 24 hours. But before I tell you about that, just take a look at these bad boys. You may remember Jonathan, Becky and I were having a sunflower competition. I was in last place, Becky was first, but it looks like we have got a new front runner, which I'll be telling you about after the weather. Let's take a look.
So that's the weather forecast. The gardeners will be pleased. Before we go, a quick wave to the train disappearing over the site. But also, the gardeners will be pleased, and so will our sunflowers be pleased, because Amanda, take us through the competition stakes as it stands at the moment.
Well, I hate to admit it, but I am yet again in last place. But this time...
Looking strong.
Yeah, Yeah, apparently I'll be the best in the wind. If I get some wind, then I'll survive it. You two will be knocked over.
Yeah, OK. Which means this one, then, is in second place. Whose is that one, then?
This is indeed in second place.
Oh,
so I'm afraid, Becky, the winner is...
Oh, look, look, he's doing well there. Oh, look at that, Becky. Oh, dear, what can I say?
That is such a
measure
fix.
that. What have we got? Oh, I'd say that's about a foot. At least about a foot, I would say now.
Yeah,
and
but I know
really
that, Jonathan,
well.
you and Jean are like that. She's been giving it some of her sunflower juice, isn't she? I think I need Abby helping me out with mine, if you can hear, Abby.
I think you find that Jean... Let's have a little swing round to Jean, actually, because there she is, just looking all innocent, but actually she has been... She's my secret weapon, Becky. She's my secret weapon. We'll see how it goes in a couple of weeks when we're back here, then.
Yeah, I'll be watching you two. Thanks, guys.
I think you swapped them, don't you?
You probably did. Now, don't forget, if you missed Jonathan and Co at the allotment this evening, it will be on our website, itv.com/Anglia.
Yeah, there'll also be items behind the scenes as well, and you can watch the full programme, plus the weather forecast for the Anglia region.
Now, before we go tonight, a reminder of an ongoing story. Firefighters are tonight tackling a blaze at a whisky distillery in Norfolk. They were called to St George's Distillery at East Harling this afternoon. Crews from there, Thetford and Attleborough, are now at the scene, and the distillery was set up 4 years ago, and it's one of the only places in England making whisky, and that is all we have time for. We'll have more later in the late news.
That's it from us. Good night.